Hello everyone, my name is Faris Hasan, and I am a student in the supply chain management class taught by Mr. Okin Purba. Today, I am excited to take you on a journey to explore how supply chain management or SCM actually works behind the scenes and why it matters so much in our daily lives. Have you ever craved your favorite snack or drink late at night, rushed to the mini market and found the shelf empty? Or maybe you order something online and it arrives super fast, even though it was shipped from another city? That doesn't just happen out of nowhere. There is something called supply chain management or SCM working behind the scenes. So, how does SCM actually make your life easier? Let's talk about it together. First, let's start with the basics. SCM is like a massive team that manages the journey of a product from raw materials all the way to your hands. We are talking about everyone from farmers, factories, warehouses, to drivers to the cashier at your local store. They are all connected through a chain process called the supply chain. The main goal is to make sure the things you need are always available, the quality is good, and the price doesn't break your wallet. So every time you grab a product, you are actually holding the result of a huge team effort that you don't see. Now let's move to the next part. The first one among the key players is the supplier. Suppliers are the foundation. They provide the raw materials, for example, tea farmers for bottled tea. If you choose the wrong suppliers, there are a lot of risks. If the quality drops, like when the tea leaves are not good, the taste of the drink become inconsistent and the product might even fail in the market. If the materials aren't up to standard, you get defective products. If the supplier is inefficient or often delivers late, the factory has to scramble for last-minute materials or pay higher prices. All of these extra costs eventually get passed on to you as the customer, because the company will add those costs to the price of the product. The second key player is the manufacturer. Manufacturers or factories turn raw materials into finished goods. But there are a lot of challenges here too. When they produce too much, products pile up in the warehouse, storage costs increase, and there is a risk that goods will expire, get damaged, or go out of trend. All these costs become a burden for the company, and sometimes they have to offer big discount just to clear out the stock. On the other hand, if production is too low, stores will run out of products. Customers who are ready to buy leave disappointed or might switch to another brand. This is why SEM needs to be smart about scheduling production, predicting demand, and coordinating with suppliers so that inventory is just right, not too much, not too little. The third key player is the distributor. Distributors act as the bridge between factories and stores. However, the distribution path is not always straightforward. SEM needs to decide if goods should go directly from the distributor to the retail store or if they should go through a wholesaler first and then to the retail store. The more steps there are in distribution, the higher the final price, because each step adds a markup so that every player in the chain gets a profit. For example, if goods go from distributor to wholesaler and then to retail, the price will be higher compared to going straight from distributor to retail, because the wholesaler also takes margin. SEM has to consider which path is more efficient. Sometimes having more steps make distribution more stable and allows product to reach more places. But it also means the price is less competitive. So, decisions at the distribution level aren't just about logistics, but also about pricing strategy and customer satisfactions. Now that we have talked about these three main players, you can already see that supply chain isn't just about moving products from point A to point B. It's about how every decision can make a product better, cheaper, and easier to get. Let's continue to the main activities in the supply chain so you can see how all these processes are connected. Behind the scene SCM is all about several key activities. The first is forecasting, which means predicting demand. If you get this wrong, you can get something called the bullwhip effect. This is when a small change in demand at the store can make the factory panic and overproduce. The second activity is inventory management. This is about deciding how much stock to keep at each point. There is even something called safety stock, which is extra inventory just in case demand spikes or deliveries get delayed. The third activity is transportation and distribution. Here, SEM choose the most efficient way to ship, whether it is by truck, ship, or plane. Sometimes SEM has to spend more for speed, like flying in goods during big holidays, so shelves don't run empty. The last activity is information management. Data is key. Without real-time information, supply chain decisions can be slow and miss the target. Okay, let's talk about how all of this really affects your daily life. First, there is product availability in stores. To keep sales stock, SCM relies on data like sales trends, seasons, and even the weather to plan inventory. For example, during the rainy seasons, instant noodles sales usually go up. SCM has to prepare extra stock for certain stores. If they get it wrong, shelves go empty, customers get frustrated, and store lose money. Second, let's look at stable and affordable prices. Stable prices are the result of an efficient supply chain. SCM is always optimizing, like consolidating shipment, so one truck can carry more goods, or negotiating bulk deals with suppliers. They also work hard to prevent waste, expired, damage, or excess stock, all at costs that eventually get passed on to you. When the supply chain is messy, costs go up, and so do prices at the store. Third, let's talk about customer satisfaction. SCM isn't just about making sure products arrive, but also about quality and service. If a product gets damaged during delivery, SCM needs to have procedures for returns and replacement. These days, a lot of online stores offer real-time tracking. That is thanks to supply chain technology, so you can see exactly where your order is. And finally, let's talk about resilience against disruptions. A strong supply chain always has a backup plan. If one supplier fails, there's another ready to step in. If the usual delivery route is flooded, SCM has an alternative route. This is what keeps the supply chain running even during pandemics, disasters, or sudden demand spikes. Let's take a real example. The journey of bottle tea isn't as simple as going from the factory to the store. First, the tea farmers have to maintain both quality and quantity of their harvest. Then, the factory decides when to produce, how much to produce, and how to distribute to warehouses. After that, the goods are shipped to regional warehouses and then to stores. Retailers decide on display promotion and shelf stock. If there is a problem at any point, like a failed harvest, a truck breaking down, or a sudden spike in demand during a promotion, SCM has to react quickly. They even use sales history, weather trends, and local events to predict how much stock is needed. This is an example of a supply chain that really thinks. So, supply chain management isn't just about moving stuff from one place to another. It is the brain, the nervous system, and the heartbeat of modern business. Good SEM keeps products available, price stable, customers happy, and businesses resilient no matter what happens. And it is not just for big factories or stores. It impacts your daily life, from the price of your favorite snack to how quickly your online orders arrive. That is all for today. If you want to dive deeper into SCM technology, the bullwhip effect, or supply chain strategies in big brands, let me know in the comments. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more cool insights. See you in the next video, everyone.